Welcome to Mike Dub 27 Day Trader. How's everybody doing? It's 2026, and of course, everybody's wondering what is going to be going on with finances, especially the stock market. Now, I used to cover a lot of Lucid Group, but that's pretty much a dead stock at this point. There's no reason for me to still cover it because they are on their way to bankruptcy eventually. But these are some stock symbols that I will be looking at in the 2026 year. Of course, we got Apple right here at the top for obvious reasons. If you go to Apple, you can see right now that it's still low, which is a good thing. Apple, just within this last month, was at 285. Right now, it's at 271. And if we go out a year, they're about 288. 288 is pretty much its height. So that's a good thing right there because that's showing us that even when you go out a year, Apple really is kind of staying steady. It hit a low of around 176 when everything dropped, but it's made its way back up and it's still going. People got to remember that Apple hasn't even really gotten to the AI world yet. Right now, this is just off of it being a cell phone company that makes some other stuff, but mostly due to the iPhone 17 Pro and all the different variations of the iPhone. But even just today, we can see just how it's kind of stayed steady. You know, it kind of hit a low right here with 271, but 273 is right there. And all we need is some good news to come in. And Apple is one of those stocks that's going to shoot up. P ratio is good, 36 to 49. Day range is good, 52. Week range is good. Ask is 274. Bid 272. Volume 23 million. Average 45 million. Market cap 4.035 trillion. Now that's the big deal right there. As well as the dividend. Let's not act like we don't see that $1.04 dividend. That's not bad, but it's worth $4.035 trillion. Now, this is why this is interesting. Let's look at Nvidia real quick. Market cap 4.54, 4.541 trillion. So they're both in the $4 trillion range, and as we know, Nvidia is considered, the top notch stock, on earth right now. And how high did Nvidia go? Well, as we all know, before the stock split, it hit $1,000. Within this past 6 months, it was at 208, and it's been a gradual, of course, a gradual height within itself. Like I said, we've had that stock split. We all remember when Nvidia made its way up to $1,000. So we can see right here that Apple it's amongst good company. The fact that it's a $4 trillion company. We know that once it starts really pushing, it's not going to be too much that's going to be able to hold it back. But that's just one of the stocks that's in my watch list. Now here's a small one. This is RVPH. This is a penny stock. And I know penny stocks you got to be weary about. But one thing about this penny stock is the fact that it dropped and then it stayed steady. And it's been going between 27 cents and 28, sometimes even 30 cents. So this is one of those, if you're just getting into trading and you don't really have a lot of money to work with and things like that, this could be something that could help you get your feet wet. But this is one of those where I will say you got to be very careful. You would not get into this on its way up. You would get to this when it's dropping for the day, when it's hitting its low. So when it gets down there to say just 27.05 or something like that, usually with a zero after that 7, that's when you jump in and you just stay in until it hit, 28, 29, 30 cents, and just take whatever profit you make for that day. Don't stick around. Catch it when it's low, though. If it's not going low, just wait. Eventually, it'll go low. It's a penny stock. So while everybody else is trying to catch it on the up, and it's not going up, or if it does, it'll do like this and just spike and then jump back down. That's why you got to go ahead and just see. It got up to like 33 cents right there. But you want to catch it when it's at its lowest. And it seems to be going back off a 5-day run. The low has been in that low 27-cent range. Yeah. And even if it continues to go low, you always want to catch it at its lowest. So if you see it starting to go low and it's at 27 cents and it's stalling out, just wait to see what direction it's about to go. Once it hits 27.0, if it goes lower than that, that's a good thing. If it starts popping back up, I would jump in right there and just catch the little ride up. This is one of those where you can buy a lot of shares of it. So easiest way to explain it is this. Let me pull out my calculator. But before we do that, another reason why I'm looking at the stock is because it's not like it's a small market cap. It's kind of even, medium. It's 32 million. So it's still actively, an active company. It's 32 million. 52-week range, high $2.17. Obviously a drop, low 25 cents. If I can catch it at 25 cents, that's even better. Your target estimate, $4.81. But of course, we know sometimes you can't pay too much attention to that when it comes to a penny stock. That's more like what they hope to get to. Average volume about 10 million. Volume right there about 4 million. Ask, you can see what they're asking, right? 82 cents. Bid 45 cents. So here, even with the ask and the bid, everybody's expecting this to jump back up. Now let's go down a little further. It's a 1-year return. See, it's down a lot, 84%. That's a lot right there. It's part of the S&P 500. Which that lets you know as well that when the S&P 500 goes up, this is one of those companies that'll go up right along with it because it's part of the S&P 500. And this is another interesting aspect of it. Look at the analyst recommendations. The analyst recommendations are all either buy or strong buy at the top. There's no hold, no underperformance, or no sales. Well, lets us know right now that means a lot of people see this as being extremely underpriced, and that there's definitely some potential of growth. Has a rating of buy. So that's just some of the things you can keep in mind. Profit margin 0, so they're breaking even. Of course, you have the net income AVI to comment, negative 22.76 million. Levered free cash flow, negative 18. So you don't really have too much free cash flow. But the fact that the analysts are looking at it from this aspect, that on the low end, this thing should hit $1.50. At the high end, $16, average 4.81, and right now it's at 27 cents. That's one of those things. Now I'm gonna pull out the calculator. We're gonna see how we would play this, long term and short term. Let me get this calculator up. All right, come on, calculator. The calculator doesn't want to work right now. Let me see if I can get this calculator up. All right, here we go. No, computer ain't doing what it used to do. But I can go ahead and pull it up. You can't see it, but I'm pulling it up on my regular calculator on my cellular phone. And on the calculator, I'm taking 27 cents, so 0.270. And let's just say you got $1,000 to work with. Let's not even say $1,000. Let's just say $100. Because like I said, this is a penny stock. All right, here we go. So let's say 100 divided by 0.27 equals 370 shares. All right, so let's just say it goes up 3 cents to 30. So that's 370 shares times 3 cents. Now that's $11. Now that was just with $100. So let's multiply that by 5 if you use $500. So times 5. So 500 to get you $55. Now let's say you put in 1,000. You was working with 1,000. So let's go ahead and multiply that by 2. That's $111 extra dollars right there. And so on. You get the drift of that. But like I said, that's one of those where I will wait until it get as low as possible and then go ahead and set my automatic sell point at where I wanted to sell it at the minimum, not at the maximum, at the minimum. All right. So now let's look at some more. And of course, you got the 3D printed. I just got this. I need to do some more homework on that. But one more that I am looking at, of course, XRP is trying to make his move forward. I think it actually got almost a 190 today. Floki Inu's at 44 cents. Don't sleep on Floki Inu. Floki Inu will mess around and put $1,000 in your bank account by accident. Just because it was at 38, 37, 38 cents. And now it's at 38 might, 0.000038 cents, and on is at 0.000044 cents. It's one of those you end up with like 3 million shares, but when it goes up, it's crazy. It bottoms out at about 30.0003839. It likes to hang around the 39 point. But yeah, so Floki Inu is making a move. I don't know what's going on, but it's moving faster than XRP and Bitcoin right now. But let's look at TNMG. This is TNL Media Gene. And the reason I like this is for the last week, between 250 and 273, it's making 20-cent moves daily. Yeah, let me move this out of the way. This thing is making 20-cent moves daily. That's what it's doing. Now, if you're a day trader, this is what you like right here, because that's real volatility. The thing goes between $2.51, $2.93, goes right back down 260, right back up 279. Very rarely I'm not going to say very rarely, but it likes to hang around at $2.55, but still it's constantly going up. Even if you go back to the month when it had, and this is one of those you wouldn't stay in long term because it's doing some gradual declining. But if you look at it from a week standpoint, this is one of those I wouldn't, like on Monday, I would definitely watch it for a little bit, wait until after 10 o'clock and see what it's doing. And then I will go ahead and jump in when it hits its low, just because I know that it springs back up. It doesn't do too much extreme droppage, in one day. Now, as far as the market cap, 112 million. So it's a little bit up there too, which is a good thing. 1 year target estimate, $70. And this is at $2.73. 1 year target of $70. So this is one of those, if it does pull back up, you know, they're saying that, or estimating that it can make some money there as well. It's interesting seeing something with a range of the low $2.40 and the high $175.80. So that's when you want to definitely follow the news of this. The news seems good. It says TNL Media Gene releases H2 and 2025 corporate update presentation to shareholders highlighting growth and things like that. But let's go down here and look at some more what the analysts are saying. Right here, analyst price, current 273. The low should be at $70, so that they're saying that it's underperforming right now, undervalued. Buy. Everything from the analyst recommendation has been a buy. Right now, the price target is $3.50. So they're expecting it to almost hit $1 eventually. But as of May, they're saying that it's a buy. Well, November, December, and January, they're saying it's a buy. Financial highlights, revenue, 49.67 million, return equity. They're another one. They're not really making any money right now. They're kind of stuck. Let's go down here. Fair value. Right now is at 273. Doesn't really, let me look at right here. Return on assets, negative 30.5%. Profit margin, negative 167.88%. Enterprise value, 128.24 million. Market cap, 112.78 million. Quarterly, there's no information on it yet. But yeah. So this is one of those you may, like I said, with this particular one, I wouldn't stay too long though, just because in between that time of it getting up to, where they're saying 175, it may fall some more. It just stays steady during the week. So I would only mess with this on a week to week basis. And I'll definitely get out on Friday. I would not stay in a stock like this over the weekend. All right. And then there's Medline. Now, Medline's, it's a legit medical delivery company. They deliver medical parts and just different hospital disposables and things like that. Pretty big company in the hospital world. Previous close 41.86. This recently went IPO. It went IPO on the 31st, and I was able to get this So it's really, the high was 45, low was 34. But like I said, it just went IPO, so we really don't know too much. The market cap, however, 33 billion. Average volume 18 million. Volume 5 million right now. Like I said, there's not going to be too much information on this just because it's a new IPO. You can go down to, there's not too much right here. All right. So net income AVI to common 1.27 billion. Total cash 997 million. Revenue 22.43 billion. Profit margin 4.62%. So they're making money. So this is what you call long. You know, this is what you call long, because to explain what Medline is as far as a stock, let me show you another company that's just like Medline, and that is, what's the name of it? That is McKesson. Same type of company. Same type of company. And right now it's at $820. Same company. Well, not same company, but same type of company. Its market cap 102 billion. But yeah, this is a $820 stock. And then on the low end, we'll do Henry Schein. These are all the same type of companies. Henry Schein, $75.58. And that's with a market cap of 9 billion. So Medline is already worth more money than a company that's worth over $30 more than what it is. At 9 billion. So that's the potential that you're dealing with when it comes to Medline. So these are just some stocks that we can keep in mind, as we get into the 2026 trading year. And like I said, keep an eye on Floki in you, because it's doing something. It's a meme stock, but it's a meme stock that's doing that. You see, just today, like something's pumping this up. Not sure what it is, but it's making bigger moves than Bitcoin. Bitcoin made a 0.93% move. This thing just made a 10.50% move. So it's a little different. But it was been hanging around. If you look back at a 5-day, that's where it's been hanging around. It was kind of going with everything else. But it's still up. But it's hanging up at that 0.000044%. Now, to explain what the potential is, just in case you're wondering, 6 months, the potential is 0.001 cent. So the potential is definitely there for it to close that gap, going from 4 decimal places over to 3. And that may not look like a lot, but this is basically what that is. Let's just say you get $1,000 worth of this at point. It said, where is that now? 0.000044 cent. All right, that's 22 million shares. And let's say it just moves over a decimal times 0.0001. That's 2,272. So that's basically what you're dealing with when it comes to Floki in you. And of course, we all know, once Bitcoin finally starts making that run after crypto winter because they're saying it's going to happen. There's definitely some potential. But yeah, this is Mike Dub, 27 day trader. I try to do one video a day and get more consistent. But yeah, tell me how you like the new format. And don't forget to like and follow when I'm out. Deuces.